Hey, everybody. We are live. We've got a great show lined up tonight. This is the Rise and Outshine podcast showcase. And as you know, on this show, we bring on a podcaster. They showcase their show for about 10 minutes. And you, the audience at home, gets to vote, critique, and talk about what you just experienced. So on your phone, you can pull up this link, menti.com, and type in that code, or use your phone and scan that QR code. There'll be different criteria. You can grade on audio quality and the host, engaging host, the quality of the content. Does the content match the expectation? So while you're doing that at home, I'm going to bring my co-host and introduce you to Maria Daniels. Maria, welcome.
Hello. I am excited to be here.
Hello. And Maria and Wize have been taking turns filling in as co-hosts because we are ramping up towards a big event, September 2025, where we did it last year and we've done it for a few years virtually. But now that we have the podcast theater, we're going to bring back the shows that score the best over this year and bring them to Pittsburgh and host them live on our main stage at our Paduti Podcast Theater. So Maria, well, I guess you weren't here last week, so you're back this week.
I am back this week. I don't remember what weeks I was here, I'll be honest. And I didn't realize until just now that we're taking turns. I guess we have been taking turns. That wasn't a plan, I don't think, though.
No, I don't know if you two are working together.
No, I think it just worked out that way. But yeah, I'm excited. I'm excited about the show. I've liked this show ever since it was first introduced to me. And I'm excited to be ramping up for the big reveal in September, which is basically where Wize drags everyone to your studio in Pittsburgh.
Sounds good. We'll have all the dates and details coming up for the big event. We have the Flat Earth podcast with Flat Earth Dave coming up next. Let's hear that theme song.
We're asking the experts, we're all on a mission to rise in the rankings and outshine the competition. Welcome to Rise and Outshine.
Yeah, that's Maria says I have to say the yeah now.
It adds to it. It just has that little oomph at the end.
And Dave, officially, welcome to the show, Flat Earth Dave from flatearthdave.com, the Flat Earth podcast. Is there a theme coming up for the next 10 minutes?
Yes, a little bit of a theme, and the theme is everything you know is a lie, whether you want to believe it or not. So thanks for having me on, Maria and Jeff. And this is going to be a little different show than you may be used to.
Yeah, we're really excited about this. And again, the content's going to be the fun part, I think, tonight, and learning something and expanding our minds. But part of what we're doing on this show is we're giving back real-time feedback to podcasters. So, as we learn about new things over the next 10 minutes, folks at home, you'll pull up your phone. And as you can see on my phone, you're able to score and give points to Dave on audio quality, the engaging host, the quality of the content. Does that content match the expectation, and production quality? How did it do overall? And after that, you're able to fill out a word cloud. And what we want you to do is type in anything that you hear, feel, if you're inspired, engaged, motivated, any kind of words that you associate. Maybe it's a quote from the show tonight, or I ask a silly question, something you felt or wanted to share. Type that into the word cloud. It's really a cool feature because at the end of the show, at the end of the 10 minutes, what we'll do is give back that word cloud and the scoring to Dave and just kind of review, like, how did it go? What was it like? It's probably the most nerve-wracking part of the show is the scoring at the end, but it's always done with love and respect. We're only doing this to lift each other up and, showcase our talents as podcasters and help each other grow in different ways. We can all learn and take a new tip here and there. So, I don't have any other questions. And the way we're going to do this one is a little different. We're going to stay on, Maria and I, and Dave is going to walk us through, just kind of helping us figure out what we think we know and, and go from there. But before we get started and start the timer, Dave, tell us a little bit about how did you get started into podcasting and even on this whole track that you're on?
So I was working in corporate America, and my buddy and I in the lunchroom, we were talking about some conspiracy stuff like the Federal Reserve, the IRS, and every day more and more people would gather around us. And one day my buddy Tim goes, "Hey, there's a new podcast studio opening up in New York City." I didn't even know what a podcast was back then. And we can do a podcast and spread our information farther. So we started a podcast called Deep Inside the Rabbit Hole, and it was a very viral, very big podcast. And then in the third year, people started sending me flat Earth stuff. We're looking into conspiracies, open-minded. Flat Earth, one step too far. I'm not watching your 1-minute video. You're banned for life, banned for life, banned for life, banned for life, just for even suggesting that we look. But then another researcher forced me to look. I went in with a closed attitude saying, flat Earth is stupid. I'm going to disprove it, prove the globe, and be done with all of this nonsense. And for 2 weeks, I didn't sleep. Excuse me. 2 weeks, I didn't sleep because everything that I thought I knew, I didn't know. So before you tune out, before you say this guy's nuts, and maybe I am nuts because I'm offering 3 Bitcoins. You guys know what a Bitcoin is, right? Bitcoin.
Yes.
I think it's at $99,000 right now. So that's almost $300,000 for one globe proof. If you think I'm nuts, that's because you think the Earth is a globe. If you think the Earth is a globe, you probably or should have a reason for that. And if you can give me that legitimate reason, you win 3 Bitcoins. It's that simple. All right.
Very nice.
So,
what did you buy the Bitcoin at? Because you might not want to turn them over.
Yeah, well, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter what you bought them at. Turning them over, it's turning them over. So when you think flat Earth, you think this. Whoops, that's not what I want to show you. But you think a disk in space because that's what they give you, right? This is 2 false models in one. No flat earther believes that, right? And people say we're all programmed to say, oh, what are we the only pancake planet? Are the other planets pancakes, right? This is called a false binary. You got 2 false models: a false heliocentric model and a false flat Earth model, right? So what is the flat Earth? Well, the flat Earth is where we live. We live on a flat, non-rotating topographical plane, right? Here is the Earth at 120,000 feet. We sent this balloon up. It was up for 3.5 hours. Now, the Earth is spinning east to west at 1,000 miles an hour at the equator. 1,000 miles an hour because it's just over 24,000 miles around. It spins once a day, 1,000 miles an hour, right? It's spinning to the east, so this balloon should have landed west, maybe 3,000 miles to the west, but it landed 80 miles to the east. So not only did it rise up, it outran the Earth because it has to go faster to keep up to where it took off from because it's making a bigger circle. So there's one problem, and there's a million other problems. We only have 10 minutes. Normally, I've done over 1,200 interviews since 2021, and every single time we go an hour, 2 hours, and they all invite me back because they want more information. So an example, I'll just jump right to it, is we can see too far, right? Here is in Malibu, California, we can see Mount San Jacinto. I finally got that right. And it's at this distance, 123 miles, there should be over 7,000 feet of curvature. That's what the globe math says. So we should only see the very tip of this mountain. Now, this is with infrared, right? An infrared camera. So we can cut through the haze. If you turned off the infrared, this is just blue sky and there's no mountain. Then you say, well, of course you can't see the mountain because the Earth is curved, right? I'll give you one another quick one. Here's a frozen lake, right? Large bodies of water at rest lie flat. We all know that. We need containment. Water needs containment. You can't take a bath if the side of the bathtub isn't there. You can't have a pond if the side of the pond isn't there. You don't have a lake without the side of the lake. And you don't have a pond, the world oceans, without the sides of the oceans. So here's a canal, a lake, whatever you want to call it. We got a camera 6 inches off the ice. We put these 4 lights out here, one at 8 miles, 7 miles, 6 miles, and 5 miles. And according to globe math, not flat earth math, right? This should be 30 feet below that curve. You can't see my mouth because it's below this curve, right? A physical curve. A globe is required to have a physical curve at a certain distance, 22 feet, 15, and 9 feet. So you have to believe one of 2 things, that the Earth is flat and we're just seeing these along the flat ice, or we're seeing a tangent to the Earth, and then each one of these is refracting, a word that globe believers like to use, which means it's miraging up and stopping at eye level. This one's going up, 9 feet, 15 feet, 30 feet, right? And they all stop right at eye level to trick you into thinking that the Earth is flat. Or maybe that's the Earth is flat. So, do you have a question at this point? Or I can keep going.
I think you just, yeah. No, go ahead.
Yeah, no problem. No problem. Here is, I'm going to put my hand up here so you don't see this. So, whoops, that's again, second time I did that. So here is a looking across Chicago, looking across Lake Michigan to Chicago. And you can't see Chicago because it's over 50 miles away. And at that distance, I'm not showing you, I'm sorry. There we go. At that distance, I'm probably going to get a bad rating for that, but here we go. It's okay. You can't see Chicago because the tops of the buildings would be, 100 or more feet below the curve. But when the sun backlights it, you can see it. It's there. It's just you can't see the light that's bouncing off of it. So once you learn things like the angular resolution limits of our eyes, perspective, what the horizon is, what the atmospheric horizon is, what land horizons is, and how it all pushes into your horizontal eye zone or your horizon. Then you start understanding why we see the world the way we see it. Boats over the horizon is always a big one. People say, I've seen boats go over the horizon because that's the one that got me. When I first saw, they said the Earth was flat. I was like, I've seen boats go over the horizon, and you think you do. You can see a boat disappear, and so when you look at the horizon, when you look at the sky and the land come together to the point where you can't see the difference anymore, and then you think that's Earth curve. But here is a horizon, and as we're zooming in, there's no boat out here, right? There's no boat, but as we increase our angular size, all of a sudden our eye realizes, look, there is a boat there. It's just our ability to see it. Now, my finger can't hide that boat unless my finger was a wave in the foreground, and my finger then will hide the entire boat as these little waves are making the boat look like it's going below the horizon. So to somebody that was indoctrinated by Bill Nye, the lying guy with the bow tie, we would think that is Earth curve, but that is just the way our eyes see and way perspective works. There are a million other proofs that the Earth is flat. Some people like seasons. Seasons is one of my favorite ones. Now, you guys know it's our summer when we're tilted towards the sun, right? You with me?
Yes.
So when we're tilted towards the sun and when we're tilted away, it's the angle the rays come in that give us our winter, right? But seasons actually prove flat Earth. So let me show you real quick. What if you and I were, where is it? Okay, so we're outside and it's freezing cold, and somebody comes over with a heat lamp and is holding it right above one of us, right? So if I said to you, I said, all right, this is me and this is one of you, right? And I said, okay, where do you see that heat lamp, the sun? And you're like, it's right up there. It's high in the sky and you're warm because it's close to you. I see it from over here and it's at a 40-degree angle. It's low in the sky. So that's my winter sun. So our sun travels between the Tropic of Cancer, I'll show you that in a second, and the Tropic of Capricorn every 6 months. So keeping it at the same height, if I bring it over, it's getting lower in the sky for you. It's getting higher in the sky for me. I'm warm, you're cold, my winter, your summer. That's simply how it works. Seasons are not because of the angle of the sun. It's because of the distance of the sun. On a globe, it's cold in the morning with a 93 million mile away sun. It's warm in the afternoon with a 93 million mile away sun. And it's colder in the evening with a 93 million mile away sun, because this little distance of a couple hundred or 1,000 miles is nothing. It's 0.00 whatever percentage of that distance. So there's no difference there. But on a flat Earth, we have a small local sun. We have a distant sun in the morning, not that far, but farther, colder. We have a warmer sun in the afternoon because it's closer. And then it gets cooler as it moves away. The sun circles around the Earth very easily within the Earth system. Here's my app. It's called the Flat Earth, Sun, Moon, and Zodiac Clock app. And the sky is a perfect clock. Wherever the sun is, it's noon. The sun keeps track of the hours and the days. It goes around once a day. This is the moon. If I speed it up, you'll see that the sun is going to outrun the moon, and the moon's it's waxing. So it'll lap the moon every 28, 29 days. And so the moon keeps track of the weeks and the months. There used to be 13 months of 28 days plus 1 day to reset the year. That's 365. But now we have 30, 29, 28, 31, right? And they make our clocks go around twice a day instead of once a day. So we never figure out where we are. And then on top of that, if you add the stars are going slightly faster than the sun, but they lap the sun once every 365 times around. The stars keep track of the seasons and the years. So the sun will drift back into each zodiac for about a month. And that's how we keep time. The sky clock is more accurate than any Swiss watch or anything because the sky clock is what time is. That there's no way to measure time other than with the sky clock. So we live in this intelligently designed world where we're told nonsense, but we're born with God-given common sense. But schooling teaches us to memorize and regurgitate what the controllers want us to know, right? The Rockefeller textbooks, if you want to become a teacher, get straight A's, get honors, get a degree, all you have to do is memorize and regurgitate and not question, even if you disagree. If you disagree, you're going to end up not getting the A. So we live in this world of a belief system. For example, where do I live?
I remember Connecticut.
So do you believe it or do you know it?
I believe it because you told me.
Right. So we all have to take information and we have to store it as true or false. And we can't go verify everything. So you looked at me, you're like, hey, he's a good guy. He sounds like, I hear a little bit of a New York accent. Connecticut's next to New York. Why would he lie? And you did all this processing in a split second and you stored it as truthful information. But gun to your head, do I live in Connecticut? You'd be like, I don't know. I'm not sure. Right. So we live in a world where people believe what other people say because we're trusting, loving beings, but there's a lot of evil in this world that is out here to dissuade us. So the question that you're going to jump to, which you normally get to after about an hour, is why would they lie? What's the purpose? Why? How is everybody in on it? And the answer is no, not everyone's in on it. Very few people are in on it. But we've been indoctrinated since we were babies, right? What happens when you try to take a ball away from a baby? Doesn't go well, right? Well, try taking a ball away from a big baby whose entire life is wrapped around a ball, space, everything. Everything is about this globe that we live on. We dream of outer space and all sorts of stuff, but that's our whole foundation. So if you can believe that you're on a speck of dust that came from nothing. Once upon a time, there was nothing. It exploded. It became everything. And then all the rocks turned into planets and all the gases, instead of violently filling the available space like thermodynamics tell us, the gases collapse and turn into burning balls of gas in a space vacuum. All of this is impossible if you think about it. It all breaks every law of physics. But they tell us, oh, that's what it is. It's just all the gas in space. There's so much of it. It collapses and burns for billions of years. And the sun is made of 99% helium and hydrogen. It could hold on to Pluto, but it doesn't tug on our moon. Okay? What? But this is all complete and total nonsense, and we're all lost in space. We are at the center of creation. We are powerful, God-created beings in a divinely created world. And the controllers of this world want us living in fear and doubt and want us to willingly give away our free will. And they don't want you knowing that your thoughts create a reality, and they don't want you even thinking. It's like Truman in the Truman Show. He said, I want to be an explorer, and they're like, oh, there's nothing left to explore, Truman. You know, everything's been taken care of. How much time do I have? I have 3 minutes left.
That was the 30-second timer just popped up. 30 seconds.
30 seconds. I have something cool to show you, but I will. It's all right. We'll we'll get to it later.
Go ahead. We'll keep it going. 30.
Okay.
We'll get 2 minutes.
2 minutes. All right. So we don't need to speculate what's beyond where we're allowed to go, but I want to point out something. You know, we're not allowed to explore Antarctica independently. We're not allowed to go there independently and explore. But we saw some. So we have a ship tracking site, and we saw a ship that was way out here. Okay. And we're like, how does a ship get that far into Antarctica? And that's like 730 miles. And we saw another one, which was 905 miles in. And when we click on any one of these ships out here, it tells us all the information, who the captain is, where it's going, what cargo that's on. It gives us tons of information. This one said, registered to the nation of Kiribati or Kiribati, spelled Kiribati. And it's 850 meters long, 80 meters wide, which is a gigantic ship. So this is a map. This is a map that was found in a Buddhist temple and published in a Hawaiian newspaper in 1907, and it showed all of these extra continents out here. We're like, what is that? Well, America says that Kiribati is a very important trade route. Where is it? This is the Indian Ocean. In the middle of nowhere, I had to put a pin on it because you can't even see it, is a sandbar. And they're like, this is an important trade route, right? China gave them $10 billion. We gave them $10 billion recently. And we're like, what the heck is going on out there, right? And on the island is a Captain Cook hotel. If you don't know what Captain Cook is, he's the guy that tried to circumnavigate Antarctica, which should have been 10 to 13,000 miles, but he ended up going 68,000 miles. And it took him 3.5 years just to go around Antarctica. That doesn't make any sense. So I'm wrapping this up in a couple seconds. So where is Kiribati? Well, first, if you break the Earth up at the globe into time zones, you got from the North Pole to the South Pole, you got 24 lines. Those are your time zones, sections like an orange, right? And as it spins, wherever it's facing the sun, it's noon there. Those are time zones. But there's one time zone that does this crazy jig-jag, and it never made any sense to me. But at this, which I call the most suspicious spot, is Kiribati, which is bizarre. Why is it there? And check this out. There's only 19 time zones in the inner north, 24 time zones in between the two tropics, and 32 time zones in the south. They never taught us that in school. That makes no sense. But if you took that map and wrapped it around a basketball, those 32 would get crunched together, and there's your globe. So why is why is it an important trade route? And this is why. This is what I'm saying. Where'd it go? So this is that map I was telling you. What if there was a trade route that went like this from Kiribati out here to these outer lands? What if there was people out here on this extra territory? What might you consider them? Extraterrestrials from the outer space right here on flat Earth. The idea of aliens from outer space in a heliocentric system is ridiculous. The closest star is 25 trillion miles away. And I'll end it with this. The closest star is 25 trillion. The other ones are massively farther away. So my question to you is, how far is 25 trillion? How long is 1 trillion seconds? You guys can both guess. And if you guess it within 1 week, you win a Bitcoin.
A trillion seconds is
1 trillion seconds. You guess it within 1 week, you win a Bitcoin.
24,000 years.
Wow, that you're closer than anyone else. 31,000 years, okay? 31,000 years. 25. So if we're going a mile per second for 31,000 years, we're only 1/25th of the way to the closest star in a space vacuum, which is impossible to it's a nature abhors the vacuum. And then when we get there, there's nothing there. We got to go to the next star. It's 100 times farther. Crazy. It's crazy. So I tell people, go to my website, flatearthdave.com. Check out, there's a thing called the Crash Course there. Watch those videos, and then you too will know where you don't live, and that's on a crazy globe. How's
Awesome.
that?
But remind everybody to start casting your votes. We're going to review all that data in a second. And preparing for this show, I did a little research. I came across the boats on the horizon. I was like, oh, okay, there's something there that those boats thing. Then I was like, oh, then I was like, oh, I remember somebody telling me once about cities, that how come cities, even in China, you have these 10-mile long cities of just skyscrapers after skyscraper after skyscrapers, yet they're all parallel to each other, whereas the one on the one end and the one on the other one, why aren't they pointing away from each other if they're 10 miles apart? There wouldn't be any variance in how upright that skyscraper is.
The globe argument of that is the amount of degree tilt is very shallow, is very little, and you might not see it. And I kind of agree with that. I'll steelman that for the globe. You can tell if something is leaning backwards a little bit when you're looking at it. So that's not the greatest argument, but yeah, it's a true argument if you had a real way to measure it.
And then the one that on the map you showed us with the sun and the moon, I saw some people put comments about day and night, but I was like, how about a lunar eclipse where the Earth blocks the moon? How does that light? How would that work?
Yeah,
where the Earth gets between the moon and the sun.
Yeah. So that's what we're told. So you're assuming that the Earth gets in between the sun and the moon. The sun and the lunar eclipse. The Earth gets in between the sun and the moon, and we have a lunar eclipse. So I'm just trying to pull up my eclipse. So there's an eclipse called the Selenilian eclipse, right? And let me explain what the Selenilian eclipse is. So when we have a lunar eclipse, you got the sun, you got the moon, and then the Earth works its way up and starts eclipsing. This is what we're told is happening. And we see this beautiful curved shadow go across, and it goes like that. But there's a thing called the Selenilian eclipse, which happens quite often, over 50 documented ones in recent history. And if you're standing here, you're always at the top of the Earth from your point of view. You got the moon above the horizon on your left, you got the sun above the horizon on your right, or vice versa. And if you can see both of them, the eclipse can't start. Hasn't started yet, but the eclipse does start, and the shadow comes in from the top. So what that tells you is that it's not the Earth doing it, right? And you know what scientists call a Selenilian eclipse? They call it the impossible eclipse, because it's impossible in this model. But it happens. Therefore, it doesn't happen. Also, a sphere casting a shadow onto another sphere, it comes in as an ellipse, it spreads out, and then it leaves as an ellipse. A sphere onto another sphere doesn't come in with that perfect cookie cutter shape. So there you go there.
Awesome. We went a little bit long. I wanted to let this the topic unfold. I know you said you would normally take a little bit more, and for most podcasters who come on the show, 10 minutes really isn't enough. But what we're trying to do is just get a taste, get a feel for what you offer and what the show's about. Well, one last time, we got votes coming in already. Go ahead, everybody watching. We got 20 watching right now live. We can go to those scores, but we'll give you a second. You can scan that QR code on your screen using your phone, or just open up another browser and type in menti.com and type in that 8-digit code. While you're doing it, you can go ahead and give Dave some feedback. How'd things go tonight? Because I would say we went about 15 minutes nonstop. You kept the show moving. You kept us entertained. You had you kept going. I'll turn it over to Maria too. Maria, what were some of your takebacks from
Well,
that
you
segment?
kept me awake, which is huge. But no, I mean, I am a conspiracy theory nut. I will admit it. That is a guilty pleasure that I have. So I love this stuff. I haven't decided how I feel about flat Earth because, again, I'm a conspiracy theory nut, but I can't 100% make it make sense in my mind. So I was engaged the whole time. I thought it was a great show, and I like that you have the presentation and the visuals that you're able to kind of give in the live broadcast, which really kind of helps with what you're saying, and you're engaging. You're very engaging. So I enjoyed it. I thought it was great.
Thanks. I want to just give you a little. You're a conspiracy theorist, but you know the difference between a conspiracy theorist and a fact? It's like
What's
3
that?
to 6 months. Okay, because all of
I
the
like
conspiracy theories are becoming
Yeah.
facts. I've been doing this for 20 years, and everything I've done has come true. Everything, unfortunately, or some of them, fortunately, but a lot of unfortunately. On my app, I have the frequently asked questions mark, and these are the frequently asked questions. And I encourage people, if you're interested in this, get the app. And why the lie? Great section. Where does the sun go? What about gravity? What about Coriolis? This is hours and hours and days of information, but you can narrow it down and find it. And all of this is being hidden by Google, right? There's a homeschool section. There's a matchmaker. There's a friend finder. There's all sorts of stuff on here. Social media. It does everything. And here's the challenge for the 3 Bitcoin. So you don't waste my time and don't waste your own time. Every day there's a featured video right here. And just watch it while you're having your coffee in the morning or your tea or your breakfast. And for 2 weeks. At the end of that 2 weeks, check the FAQs if you have a question. And got to warn you, if you do that, you're going to end up being a flat earther. So prepare yourself.
Awesome. Well, Dave, this is the part of the show. This is a podcast showcase. We went through and let the audience judge and leave feedback for you. We have some great votes coming in already. Are you ready to see the scores?
Yes.
All right, here we go. Everybody, here is the Flat Earth Podcast, and looks 9.1 overall, which is really strong. Most of your scores are in the 9s, which anything between 8 and like 9.5 is pretty good. You're hitting all the targets, and you can see the background of each of these gives you like a little plot, a little layout of where people were falling in. So a lot of people in the 9s really felt the audio quality was great. You were doing great. You were an engaging host with an 8.8. People liked you. They resonated with you. The quality of the content was probably skewed the highest, right? They had 4 10s coming in there. Very nice. The content matches expectations. Yeah, you told us what you're going to give us, and you gave us that exactly. A lot of times people tell us they have a podcast, and then they spend 10 minutes talking about their trip to the grocery store. So we want to reward that. That's something that's important, that you get to the point. Like Bon Jovi says, don't bore us, get to the chorus, right? And you did that right off the bat. You were right in it. And the production quality, great, skewing 9.0 overall, 9.1 with all the criteria added in. That's feedback from the people watching right now live. After seeing that, how do you feel, seeing those scores?
That's awesome. Thanks so much. I've done 1,200 interviews since 2021. And by the way, Bon Jovi played at my high school senior prom.
Oh, wow.
That's how old I am.
That's awesome.
I saw Bon Jovi with Cinderella in 1988 at the Civic Arena in Pittsburgh.
All right. There you go.
That's all the best I can do. Not in the high school prom.
Yeah.
So let's go. Okay, good.
No, go ahead.
So overall, everything was there. You're hitting on all cylinders. Those are good scores the whole way down. And this is a showcase to elevate and lift and give good feedback to. And the audience who was watching felt you were delivering on all those things. That's a very strong score. Let's go to the word cloud. This is the one that gets interesting.
All right. The one thing I want to say is, the way to engage with the crowd is just to be authentic to yourself. I think we're all perfect souls. We're all literally angelic souls in us. And if you're authentic to yourself, authentic to your soul, everybody will love you.
And let's go to the word cloud, which we don't censor. I have no idea. Some people figured out you can use emojis. Let's see. How did people go? We got 35 responses popping in here. And the bigger that the words are in the word cloud, that's the more times they were used. So Dave, you hit an interesting, engaging, flat Earth. People were referencing some of your, like the 123 miles of visibility. I think that was with the mountain in the background, maybe.
San Jacinto.
Yeah, we have. I can't see because I got my night eyes on. Fun, new, sense, truthful, truce, awesome. Everything I know is a lie. Somebody wrote that. Loud, flat, world. Sun circles earth, moon. Passionate was a word that resonated there. The heat lamp, somebody referenced the heat lamp that you mentioned too. So the point of this is to get what were people feeling in the moment while you were speaking. And 35 responses here. What do you think about those ones? Anything resonate with you, Dave?
I love it. I love the whole thing. I love the word cloud, the just putting it all together. It reminds me of the hive mind. Like if you have a jar of jelly beans and you have 500 people guess and you take the mean number, it's usually within 1 or 2 jelly beans.
Very nice. Anything else you'd like to talk about before we wrap it up here tonight, Dave?
I just want to tell people, don't believe anything I say. Go do your homework. Everything is being hidden from you, but you can find it all at flatearthdave.com. I want you to watch 2 things there. One, you're going to see a video called Old World Order. There's a nice big banner, Old World Order. Turn off Netflix for a night or forever and watch Old World Order. It's going to change the way you're going to walk out in your hometown. You're going to look around. You're going to go, how did I miss this? How did I miss this my whole life? I never even thought about it, right? You're going to find out that the reason you hated history in school is because it's all lies, all of it, right? And then the other thing is, on my website, you're going to see a button that's a big picture of me, and it says Crash Course. There's a list of videos there that are being hidden from you. Google doesn't want you to see them. Watch the first 5 videos, and I guarantee your life will be changed forever.
Very nice. FlatEarthDave.com. Thank you so much, Flat Earth Dave. Maria, anything you'd like to plug, promote before we get out of here?
Not at all. I mean, just you can find me successfullychaotic.com or Maria Daniels on Facebook. That's about it.
Awesome. This has been the Rise and Outshine podcast showcase with the Flat Earth podcast with Flat Earth Dave. You can find more at riseandoutshine.com or our podcast theater at paduty.com, PODUTY.com. Let's hear that theme music.
We're asking the experts, we're all on a mission to rise in the rankings and outshine the competition. Welcome to Rise and Outshine.
So much better, I'm telling you.
Beautiful. Thank you.